First, the word of the Lord as we read. I understand that our crowd is sometimes a little bit older. If you can't maintain your standing for a few minutes, feel free to sit down. But that's all right. We want you to reverence the Lord with us as we read. We're looking for good things today in the Lord. We're walking in the newness of life today. That's the entirety of chapter number 6 of Romans, and we'll share these things with you, as we said, as best we can in a timely fashion. So you pray for me, I'll preach fast, we'll go home real fast, all right? All right, let's do that. All right, Romans 6, verses 1 through number 10 says, "What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many of us were baptized into Jesus Christ, were baptized into his death? Therefore, we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Christ was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in the newness of life. For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin." It's important, verse number 6. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified, how? With him. For what purpose? Let's read the rest of the verse. The purpose is that the body of sin might be destroyed, and that we henceforth would not serve sin any longer. That's his purpose for coming, to have victory over sin. Amen? Amen. So that's the purpose there. For verse 7 says, "For he that is dead is free from sin." Now, if you be dead with Christ, we believe that we shall also live with him, knowing that Christ, being raised from the dead, dieth no more. Death hath no more dominion over him. Simply no more power over him. For in that he died unto sin once, but in that he liveth unto God. How long will God live? Forever. So how long is the Lord going to live? Forever. How long are we going to live? Forever. Praise the Lord. There's the reading. Let's pray. Father in heaven, we love you. Thank you that you've again given us an opportunity to be in church today. Thank you for these that have come. Thank you that they've taken the time out to be with us today. Lord, we know there's many places we could be, many things we could be doing today. We're thankful that we have a house of God that's open, ready to receive the engrafted word with thanksgiving in our hearts. Lord, we're thankful that you've given us a mind to worship. God, we thank you today that you've given us all the provisions to make this day happen and to be possible. Lord, from just our water worker this morning, the power to come on, the lights, everything, the car to get us here, everything you bless us with, God, we want to thank you for. Lord, I pray just for a few minutes, you forgive me as a sinner, the wretched man that I am, and you guide me just for a few moments behind this sacred desk. And Lord, I pray, not for myself just selfishly, but every pastor, preacher, teacher, missionary, and evangelist standing today, breaking the bread of life, that somebody somewhere would come to know you, the free pardon of sin. God, I pray that be here if there's a lost one. Lord, and I also pray that you meet the saint that's the furthest away from you, those who have grown cold and need a special touch from you. God, I pray you draw them in today. Lord, I pray you help us as we preach from Romans 6 just for a few moments in your precious name. Amen. Amen. All right, you may be seated. Let's share a few things with you today about this chapter. Quickly, I want you to notice 3 defining terms found in this chapter. Look with me in verse number 2. I want you to see what he says here. "God forbid, how shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein?" So I want you to notice a few things as we look at this chapter. This word dead appears 17 different times and in different forms within these 23 verses. Well, you think about that now. 17 times in 23 verses. I want you to think about it in this term. If our thought today is walking in the newness of life, how can we come to that conclusion when we have in 23 verses, we have 17 defining words about death? What I want you to take away today from this and walking in the newness of life, and we're no longer dead. Amen. Right? Amen. Amen. We're no longer dead people. Amen. We have been bought by the blood of Jesus Christ. We are now alive in him. So don't leave here today thinking you're defeated. Do not leave here and allow the devil to tell you that you're not on your way to heaven. My friends, if you've been saved by the blood of Jesus Christ, you are on your way. That means you are walking walking in the newness of life. Amen. Amen. So don't think about these words in the term of death in these 23 verses here. I'll show you a few things. Don't think about them to be detrimental to who you are as a Christian. The enemy wants you to think that you're defeated. The enemy wants you to think you're not going to make it. The enemy wants you to think you're not on the winning side. Can I tell you, you are going to make it. You are not defeated, and you are on the winning side today. Amen. You are on the winning side today. I don't know about you, but I read in my Bible Jesus has conquered death, hell, and the grave. Amen. That makes me a winner. Amen. I'm glad for that. So look at these terms. In verse number 2, he says we are dead to sin. Then in verse number 7, look with me here. For he that is dead is free from sin. So we're dead to sin in verse 2. We're free from sin in verse number 7. Then let's look with me in verse number 9. Knowing that Christ being raised from the dead, dieth no more. Death hath no more dominion over him. Dead to sin in verse 2. Died from sin in verse number 7. And he died for sin in verse number 9. All those three terms right there, verse 2, 7, and 9, allow us to fully understand that we are walking, living, and in the newness of life today. The enemy, again, I want you to know this, will tell you you are defeated. These verses right here, 2, 7, and 9, tell us that we are no longer living in the grasp and the grip of bondage. We have been set free by the blood of Jesus Christ, and we are on our way to heaven. Amen. Amen. I don't know about you, but that excites me a little bit. Amen. So I want you to notice a few other key words as we look in this passage. I want you to look with me in verse number 11. He says, likewise, reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto God. Through, how do we become alive? Through Jesus Christ our Lord. What that verse simply means is not only did he die for us, but he died as us. When you think about that in terms, that'll probably set you back a little bit. When you think about how bad and ugly we have been, Christ died for us in our place as us. What a great God we serve today. Amen? Amen. Amen. Now notice the word here in verse 11 is the word reckon. He's simply telling us in verse 11, likewise, reckon ye also yourselves to be dead. That simply means settle it. Settle in your mind that you are dead to sin. Sin, look with me again in verse number, that was in verse number 9, where it says, death hath no more dominion over him. The word dominion has no more power over you. He's telling us in verse 11, settle your mind, yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin. Settle yourself today. Enemy's going to try to rise up. He's going to try to affect you this week. He's going to try to affect you this afternoon. He's going to try to affect your family. He's going to try to invade everything a part of your life. He's going to try to have his way in all that's going on. Remember verse 11. It has been settled not only in the blood of Jesus Christ. It's been settled in my mind. It's been settled in my heart. It's been settled on my lips. And I have been dead to sin. I walk, live, breathe, and live in the newness of life. Amen? I don't know about you, but that again, one more time, I want to tell you, that excites me today. Amen? Amen. That excites me to know I'm alive. So I want you to notice reckon there. Then I want you to notice the word in verse number 13. He mentions it twice here in this passage. He notates to us the word yield. He said, neither yield your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin. If you have been dead to sin in verse 11, if you have settled that in verse 11, we need not to give our instruments of our body over to the works of sin. My mouth shouldn't be sinful. Amen? My ears shouldn't be sinful. My hands shouldn't be doing sinful deeds. My heart shouldn't be thinking sinful things. My actions should not be sinful. Listen, church, he said, neither yield your members as instruments of unrighteousness. Your body as an instrument should not be yielding to the things that do not pertain to godliness. Amen. We need to do the things in which glorify God. He says here, the remainder of the verse, but yield yourselves unto God. I told you, I think it was last week, about how much I wanted to go across the counter and meet that lady face to face at the B&B. But I needed to yield myself and say, Lord, not my will be done, but your will be done. I'm telling you, you have to really take into consideration where you are. There's a lot of times we want to say things and we need to take a moment and yield ourselves to the will of God. Amen? Knowing that outcome will be much greater if we yield to Him. So what else does He say there? He said, as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness. To do what? Unto God. The things that we were doing, we ought to be doing these unto God. I want you to know your testimony. Listen, my preaching, our singing, everything we do cannot all be about us. It has to be about Him. And what He's done for us comes a part of those testimonies, those songs, and those messages, but it's not based upon us, it's based upon Him. And the end result is that we're doing these things as instruments to glorify God. Amen. That's the purpose here. So let's look at those. Yielding there in verse number 13, he mentions twice. And then I want you to see the last thing about this introduction is verse number 16. He says, Know ye not that know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, His servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death, or of obedience unto righteousness. So not only does He want us to settle things in verse 11, not only does He want us to yield to godliness in verse 13, but He also wants us to lead today knowing that we need to obey the things of God. Well, I don't like some of the things He tells me. Well, can I be honest enough to tell you, I don't either? Does that sound right? No, just sometimes I want my way. Sometimes I want to just put my foot down and put my lip out and pout because I didn't get my way. That doesn't mean that I'm not saved, doesn't mean I'm not a Christian. It just means that sometimes I want to just be so selfish about me, I want my own will and way to be happening. And if I do that, if I override the obedience of God, and I do the things that pertain to Jerry, I know that Jerry's going to find himself in a very bad situation. Or if I would have yielded and settled it in the Lord, I would have come out on the other side just where I needed to be. Amen. Amen. So there's some little introduction things that he shared with us in this chapter. So leave here knowing, verse number 3, knowing ye not. Verse number 6, knowing this. Verse number 9, knowing that. And again, verse number 16, know ye not. I believe Paul is getting to a point here telling us that we need to settle it, we need to yield to Him, and we need to obey Him. What does that do for our thought today? If we would settle to do these things in our life, we will be walking in the newness of life. If we don't have it settled in verse 11, it's a constant struggle. If we don't have it yielded in verse 13, we're always going to find ourselves in trouble. If we don't obey the Lord in verse 16, we are always going to find ourselves in trouble. On the complete opposite, if you do those things, you should be walking in the newness of life. Amen. Will it be great every day? Will you just shout victory every day? Will you sing glory to God every day? Will it be just perfect every day? Absolutely not. But in the midst of whatever's going on, I can still raise my hands. I can still say I'm saved. I can still say it's settled. I'm still yielding. I'm still obeying, no matter what the circumstances of life may be. Amen. I'm glad about that. All right, that's your means of introduction. Miss Kristen, let's go to point number 1 here today. I want to share this with you this morning. As we walk in the newness of life. As she gets ready there, we'll look at a few things here. Let's look at verses 1 through 8. Verses 1 through 8 is our first point. And I want you to see some things we know about the old man. Ladies, I do not mean your husband. Children, I do not mean your dad. I'm talking about you, the old man, me, this old man. This old, wretched man that I am. Has anybody in here ever used that term, the old man? It's kind of, a few years back, it was a popular statement. Some of the people today still use it in reference to their parents or to their dad. But this part Paul wants us to notice here, in these three things, A, B, and C here, about this old man. See, I want you to understand that the enemy of your souls is going to constantly tell you that that old man is alive. That he's living. He has roots. He has power and authority. He has ability to do things. He's going to constantly be bombarding you with the fact that this old man is still alive. Can I tell you, if we go back and read those first 10 verses again, you'll see that this old man is dead. Can I ask you then, if he's dead, why does he have so much life? It's a tough question. We're living and walking in the newness of life. We shouldn't be going back to the old man that we used to be. I know we know the verse, 2 Corinthians 5:17, if any man be a new Christ, he's a new creature. The old things have passed away, behold, all things have become new. We know that verse. We've heard it 1,000 times. Everybody probably can quote it. We know what it is. We understand it. But let me ask you something. If it's dead, where is it? It's buried. Why do we go back to the graveyard every day and dig it back up and carry him with us all day long to put him right back in the grave at night, to pick him right back up in the morning, knowing that he's dead? My friends, if he's dead, he has no value. Leave him there. Amen? Spiritual things now. We want to leave him there. He has no value to you on the spiritual side of life. Let's look at some things we should know about this man. In verses number 2 and 3, letter A, I want you to see some things. God forbid, how shall we that are dead unto sin, or dead to sin, live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many of us were baptized into Jesus Christ, were baptized into his death? What I want you to see is in the letter A here, we are dead to sin. That's in verses 2 and 3. My question to you then is, why do we want to walk around as live, living people with a dead man's body? We do that at the time of Halloween. We put on skeleton costumes and we put on morbid type of things to represent Halloween. And we enact the acts of that person. We may walk like a mummy, or we may just scare people, or act like we're just come literally out of the graveside. We may act like that and do those things, but at the end result, that's not who we are. Nor should we be. We're walking in the newness of life. That man, that old man is dead. He's gone. Leave him in the grave today, church. Can I tell you, if you can walk away from the gravesite knowing that he's there, and you're on this side, and he's on that side, you should be walking away in victory. Amen? When a loved one leaves this world, and we stand at the casket, and we know that the sorrow, the pain of our time of fellowship with them is no more, and that's gone. We don't have them physically here with us anymore. That's deep pain, deep sorrow. But on the inside, we can rest assured knowing that that loved one has Christ as their Savior. We don't walk away going, I'll never see them again. I'll never be part of them again. We'll never rejoice again. None of those things come to mind, because we know that that person is walking in the newness of life, and we will one day run the streets of gold. We'll kneel down at the feet of Jesus. We'll stand at those pearly gates and we'll shout hallelujah, because we know that person has been dead to sin. Amen? Right. Amen. We should rejoice in these things, church. We need to know the things about the old man. Number 1, letter A, he is dead to sin. Number 1, letter B, I want you to see he's dead to the flesh. Dead to the flesh. That's in verses 4, 6, and 7. If we think about this now for a moment, our flesh gets us in more trouble than anything else in this world. It is the most selfish thing on the planet. I remember, I think it's Toby Keith, he sings a song, it's all about me. That's what our flesh says. Sings the song, knows every verse, and can do the repeats. Knows all about me. It's all about me. We make it so much about me. Can I tell you, it's not about you and I anymore. It's about him. Amen. We have yielded to this flesh. We've died out to the sin, and now we don't live in the flesh. We live in the spiritual side of life. Well, preacher, you don't know what I'm going through. I may not know what you're going through, but I can tell you, you can get over it in Jesus Christ. Amen. Yeah. Maybe you don't believe that. You can get through it. Will it be the best thing in the world? Listen, Christianity as a whole is not going to be birthday cake, candles, and everything every day, all day long. You're not going to have that every moment of the day. You are living in the flesh. You're going to have the things of flesh affect you. Right. Church, we can't let those things determine who we are as a Christian. Those are circumstantial things. It doesn't determine I'm going to heaven one day. Amen. That's not the determining factor. It's the blood of Jesus Christ that applied to my life, heart, and soul, and I'm on my way to heaven. Amen. Right. We're dead to flesh. We're dying out. Let's look at verses 6 and 7. He said, knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him. He died, we died. Why? That the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth, from there on, from the body of sin might be destroyed, from that moment on, look at what he's talking about, from henceforth, we should not serve sin. If you have become a believer in Jesus Christ, you've accepted him as your Savior, the old things you used to do, you ought not to be doing anymore. The old conversation you used to have, you ought not to be having now. Amen? Freed from sin. Does sin affect us? Does sin have part of us? Sin move around in our lives and try to affect us? Absolutely. But listen, there's a difference between stumbling into sin and living in sin. Amen. There's a difference between you falling into a trap of the enemy and he wooing you away for a few moments and then you living there. There's a difference in those two things. What I want you to understand is that some things the old man needs to know is that he's dead to sin. He's also dead to the flesh. Then I want you to look with me, letter C. I want you to see he died so we can yet live. Look at all the verses in this chapter that give reference to his death that we can have life. I don't know about you, but I like living on the living side. You know the old statement is, I'm glad I'm on the green side of life. I'm glad I'm not pushing up daisies in those type of terms. Yeah, I like this side of life. Is it always what I want it to be? No. Am I financially secure all the time? No. Is everything working right in my family all the time? No. Is my wife and my marriage 100% right? No. But I'm still glad I'm on this side, amen? Right. And now what I want you to see at this point as we take away from here, that he died so that we could get live. Look with me in verses 4 and 5. This is the epitome of that little term there. He died so that we can live. Therefore, the conclusion of verses 1 through 3. Therefore, we are buried with him by baptism into death. As he went down and died in his flesh, we too have been buried that way. Look at this now. He said that, like as Christ was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in the newness of life. My friends, I need you to understand as we leave here today that the old man has been put to death and you can yet live in the newness of life in Jesus Christ. Amen? I want you to know everything about this world wants to hold you back, wants to keep you just sitting still, not doing too much. But can I tell you, hey, the blood of Jesus Christ has made us free. Walk in that way. Amen? Live in that way and proclaim to a lost and dying world, I'm free. Amen? I'm alive today because of him. Let's finish verse number 5. For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall also be in the likeness of his resurrection. I don't know about you, but I know I've told you this time and time again, but when I was driving a truck for a living, I prayed, God, if it's today you're returning, would you please allow me to drive past a graveyard at that moment? I did. I asked the Lord that several times. The purpose was for this. The Bible tells us in Thessalonians that the dead in Christ are going to rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up in the air forever to be with the Lord, right? And I love the last part of that. I think it's verse 18. It says, wherefore, comfort you one another with these words. Great verse. Great, great, great. I love the previous verses, but that last line, we need comfort to know that we're going to heaven one day. Amen? Now, here's what I want you to see. I pray and ask God time again, Lord, please let me, if it's today, send me somewhere by a graveyard. Let me just see that happening. The purpose of my request was, Lord, if it's going to be today, and I can be passing a graveside, and I see those saints of God rising from the dead, hey, I knew I was next. Amen? And that excited me to know that. I want you to see this now in the verse. He said, if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall also in the likeness of his resurrection. If he not only lived because he died, we also can only live because he died. Had he not died, we could never live. Praise God, I'm glad he died. He rose on the third appointed day, and praise God, he's sitting at the right hand of the Father today. Amen? I don't know about you, but that gives me hope. I'm walking in the newness of life here today because of what he's done. All right, Miss Crystal, let's go to number 2. Some things we know about the old man. All right, we talked about those. We know about that. Let's look at some things we know about the new man in verses 9 through 16. I love the first one. Letter A. Is that on the board behind me? What's that say? Dies no more. All in favor? Let's try it again. All in favor? Amen. I don't know about you. All in favor. Die no more. Hallelujah. I'm in on that boat. Sign me up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be part of that because the new man dies no more. We're going to stand at the caskets of people and more between now and Jesus' return. sorrowful over the loss of that dear loved one. We're going to stay there. We're going to moan. In days and weeks to come after, we're going to be going through those emotions of separation from them. But can I tell you, hey, we're going to never die again. The Bible said to be absent from this body is to be present with the Lord. That don't tell me I'm dying. It just means I'm changing residency. Amen. I'm going from here to there. I don't know about you, but I am ever looking forward to going there. Amen. All right, let's look at a few things here. We see the old man, dead to sin, dead to flesh, died. Christ died so we can yet live. Here's some things about the new man. Letter A, he dies no more. Look with me in verse 9. He said, knowing that Christ being raised from the dead, what's it say? Dieth no more. That's a redundancy of terms. Dieth, we know what the TH means, a continual process. Then he attaches onto that, no more, or ever. Can I tell you, I don't know about you, but I'm excited the fact that I know my Savior, when He came and did it right the first time and never has to come again. I don't know about you, but I've had people come to my house and work on things in my house, work on my car, I've had to take it back and forth to the shop. They've had to come in and out because things just are not done right. But can I tell you, I'm going to rest in the fact that what He's done when He died on the cross of Calvary, He never has to do it again. Amen? Amen. Hey, not only did He die for that to give us this new man, but we neither have to die because we'll just be changed from here to there. Amen. Amen. Verse 9, let me finish that out. He said, knowing that Christ being raised from the dead dieth no more, death hath no more power, dominion, authority over him. Hey, I don't know about you, but that verse excites me one more time. I'm glad to know that he has no more power. Look with me in verse 14 now, with that attachment now. He says, for sin shall not have dominion over who? Over you, over me. In verse number 9, we see that Christ has conquered death, hell, and the grave. It has no more power over him. Now we fast forward to verse 14, and we see that sin shall not have dominion over us. My friends, sin will not hold us back at the time of our departure. When Jesus calls our name, we're going to be with Him. And can I tell you, it is very imperative for you to have that settled on this side of glory, knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that my sins are covered by the blood of Jesus. I'm not going to hell. I'm on my way to heaven. He's paid it all, and I'm going one glorious day. Get that settled today. Get it settled today. Don't leave this building without knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt. What does the verse say? In verse 16, know ye not. In verse number 3, know ye not. Verse 6, know this. Number 9, know that. Leave here assured of the fact that that dead man is still dead and I'm never dying again. Verse number 9, dies no more. Then I want you to see letter B, death has no more dominion. We just spoke about that in verse 9 and verse 14. Letter C, here's the hard part now. We understand verse number 9. We understand verse number 14. But here's where we live in verse number 16. Everybody ready? Everybody ready for this part? Here we go. Verse number 16, he said, declining to do wrong. Let's look at verse 16. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey? Whether of sin unto death, or of obedience unto righteousness. Some things we need to know about the old man is he's dead. Dead to sin, dead to flesh, but Christ has come that we can yet live. Some things we see about the new man, that he dies no more, that death has no more dominion over him. And then the third thing is that he's declining to do wrong. That's a hard thing to do. See, because the flesh that we live in wants to do wrong. And let's be honest, if we're going to put it in a percentage factor, we don't live spiritual 99% of the time of the day. Would you say you live 95% of the time of the day spiritual? No. Would you say you live 90% of the time of the day spiritual? Would we say we live 85, 80? When I get to your number, just say amen. 50. 440? I don't want to go much lower, right? 20% for me? There's some honest people. God bless you, honestly. Let me ask you this. What part of the day is fed the most? The flesh or the spiritual side? The flesh side is. I have seen people on their phones hours at a time feeding that flesh. And tell you the same time, preacher, I wish I could, I just don't have time to study and pray. You just spent 3 hours on your phone. If you took half of that time and divided it up and you took half of that to do spiritual things, how much greater would we be spiritually? Amen, preacher. Yeah. All right, move on. I hear you that too. All right, so we're declining to do wrong. We're declining to do wrong. What is he talking about in verse 16? It simply comes down to obedience. If we want to obey the will of God for His will in our lives and our plans that He has for us, the only way we're going to do that is to decline to do wrong. When we get out of the will of God and we start doing the wrong things of God, we're not following the will of God, which puts us in a bad spot with God. And then we got to find out it wasn't too good. We come right back to the Lord and say, I should have been doing this in the first place. Right? Didn't take me too long to figure out. My dad said, boy, take the garbage out. He meant, right now, get up and take the garbage out. It didn't mean, Dad, I'll get to it as soon as I put this game down. My dad would have ripped the Atari out of the TV, put it in the garbage bag I was taking to the garbage can, and said, I said take the garbage out. That's what my dad would have done. Now, I understood that because it took only one little time for me to find out that my dad, who I call Quick Draw McGraw with that belt, he said, when I said take the garbage out, I meant take the garbage out right now. And if I didn't follow that, bang, the belt was off, wrapped around me real quick. It didn't take me long to know that I should be declining to do wrong. Because doing right is beneficial for you and I spiritually. Doing right for you and I is beneficial for us in the flesh. The world may not understand it, the world may not see it or agree with it, but doing right in the flesh also means we're doing right spiritually. Can I tell you, it is the hardest thing to do, is to yield this thing of the flesh and yield it to the spiritual side of life? Amen. Man, why? Because we feed this more than we do the spiritual things. It has more strength at times. Amen. Declining to do wrong in verse number 16. And I want you to see letter D. We are dedicated, declared, and devoted to do right. We're dedicated. How are we dedicated? We've been brought into the newness of life. That's the dedication. We declare we're not doing the things that glorify the flesh in verse number 13. Then we also see that we are devoted to doing right in verse 16. The end result and the purpose of that is for the obedience unto righteousness. That's what the purpose of that is. That the things that we are doing in this new man are glorifying our Heavenly Father. Amen? Yeah, amen. So, when that guy cut you off this afternoon, God bless you. Praying for you. I hope wherever you're going, you get there safely. Right? We're all going to use that term this afternoon. Praying for you. God bless. We're going to use all them. When that police officer pulls you over, you're going to say, I can't believe it. I wasn't doing anything wrong. Or you're going to say, yes, sir, I was doing whatever. Listen, there's an opportunity for us to do these things. A, B, C, and D. We need to die, understand that this new man dies no more. Death has no more dominion. He doesn't do wrong. He's devoted to doing things right. Sometimes it's the hardest thing for us to do is the right things. You know that it is not natural for us to do the right things. Flesh has enmity, the Bible says, with or against God. So when the Spirit of God is bidding you to do right, your flesh is fighting that. He's telling you, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And the only way you're going to overcome that is saying, greater is He that is in me, and I'm going to do that. And the only way you're going to overcome that is saying, Lord, I know I can do it, but by you I can do all things. And Lord, I know that it's not very comfortable for me to do it, but I know it's the right thing for me to do. That's how we're going to overcome those things. All right, let's go to number three. Number three, Miss. All right, Kristen, let's look at these. So we see some things about the old man walking in the newness of life. We see some things about the new man walking in the newness of life. Now I want you to see some things I know I should be doing. Preacher, you're going to end on that note? Yes. Yes, that's point 3. Some things I know I should be doing. Does anybody have to come by your house every single week and tell you to pay your bills? Why? Because you know that's something you should be doing. Does anybody have to come by the offering plate, when they pass an offering plate by and say, hey, you need to put your tithe in here? Well, bad subject, move on. Tough one right there. Why do we don't struggle in those areas? Because we know what to do. Right? We know what to do. What are we looking at in point number 3? Some things that I know I should be doing. Things I should be doing is putting down the TV, putting down the computer, the tablet, the phone for a little while, and spending some time in spiritual things. Listen, if all your time in the day and the afternoon is with the TV and Facebook and whatever else, Twitter like I use, if that's all of our afternoons, when we come home from work at the end of the day, that's what we're consuming ourselves with, what are we going to be at the end of the day? We have fed this flesh and we deny the spiritual things of God, and we go to bed weak when we could have went to bed strong. Amen, preacher. Yes, sir. Some things I know I should be doing. Let's look at a few things in verses 17 to 23 now. Verse 17, here's letter A. Look at that one right there. Determined to be, oh, nice spelling job there, Gary. Sadly, probably none of you noticed it until I said that, right? Great. Determined to be thankful. Determined to be thankful. Preacher, you don't know what I'm going through. How can I be thankful? It's just been that week for me, preacher. How can I be thankful? I've just had a bad month. How can I be thankful? Things are just not going as I thought they should, and the plans that I've made and the things I've laid, it's just not working out right, preacher. How can I be thankful? My kids are unruly, my spouse doesn't really love me like they should, or I feel that they should, nor am I giving the love to either side of them, and things are not going right. Preacher, I got $5 in the bank. It's just not going right. How can I be thankful? Let's read this verse number 17 now. He talks about being obedient in verse 16, and then he comes right down to it in verse 17. But God be thanked, that ye were the servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered unto you. Is that $5 the determining factor of my thankfulness? Let me tell you this. You might have $5 more than a lot of people in this world. That gives you reason to be thankful. Would you want to have 50,000 in there? Sure. Sure. But in the meantime, you've got 5. There's reason to be thankful. Is everything going just right? Is your kids being exactly what you want them to be? Is your marriage working out 100%? Is all this thing going right? Well, probably not. Be thankful that you had what you had. Right. We're looking at it fleshly things left and right. I have been fighting with my car all week. You guys know it's got a cracked head. I'm trying to fix a car I had in the driveway, a 1993 Cadillac that my dad gave me. Trying to fix that one to drive over a 2001. Things just ain't going right with that. I want to go in the house, get my shotgun, come outside, load it up real good, and just put holes in both of them. Call somebody to come and get it. It's a dead horse. I want to put it down. But I can pull out of my driveway and go down the alleyway. And when I do, I can look in my rearview mirror, and at one given time, there could be 3 cars behind me. There's that 93 Cadillac, that 75 Ford truck, There's my wife's car in the driveway, and I'm pulling out in one. What does that mean? That means I have 4.
Right.
Hurt my foot. I can get mad and be upset over, Lord, I've worked so long and I've put in all these hours over there. And God, I worked from 5 in the morning till 7 at night for years driving a truck. And how come I don't have this? And how come my bills are not paid? How come this is not right? And how come I don't have this? And how come this ain't working out just right? My friends, well, no matter what that case is, there's still a time to be thankful. Amen. I get so mad sometimes with the stupid cars. I think it's a part of the Lord's using to humble me. Remember when I told you I don't like some of the things He does? I'm just being honest. I don't like getting underneath there and having to work on them in the mud. But I'm glad I got something to work on.
Right.
I'm glad He's giving me a little bit of knowledge to do something. I've got a garage full of tools. He's blessed me beyond means. I can look around and be mad at my circumstances running. I can get mad over things not doing exactly the way I want it to be. I spent money on this car. I paid $3,000 for a car. I put over $3,000 in it 6 months after I bought it. All for the purpose of buying a car, not to do that to the other car. I get mad. I don't know why these things happen. But in spite of all that, Mike, I can wake up in the morning, put my head on the pillow at night and say, Lord, I'm thankful for what You've given me.
Right.
It may not be the most shiniest diamond in the room, but praise God I've got one. Amen. Mm-hmm. Man, hallelujah. I don't know about you, but I'm determined to be thankful. Let's look at verse 18 to 21 now. Some things I should be doing to be thankful and be seeing discipleship because I'm free. What in the world is that? Adrian Rogers said it this way about verses 18 to 21. He said, whatever master a man chooses will master that man. Whatever master a man chooses will master that man. With me? I'm determined that discipleship because I am free. Meaning that I am willing to fall under the leadership of the Lord Jesus Christ because He is the one who made me free. That leads me to discipleship. That leads me to tell you that we got Wednesday night Bible study. Amen goes right there. It leads you into discipleship because I'm free. It's not burdensome for me to be a part of discipleship. It's not burdensome for me to be a part of the things of maturity spiritually. It's not a burden for that. It's a part of my discipleship. Look with me to verse 18 now. He said, being then made free from sin, you became the servants of righteousness. That's discipleship. That's being led into a different area of life. Do you know that our entirety of life prior to coming to Christ, we have been discipled in the things of the world? Now that you become a Christian, you need to be discipled in the things that pertain to God. Amen.
Amen. That's right.
That's a true church. And we die out, more discipleship we get spiritual things in, the more that fleshly side of us should be dying out. Mike, I got music coming through. That discipleship is because I'm free. It's not a part of me being burdened to have to come to church to learn about Jesus. It's not a burden for me to sit at home, to turn everything off, go in a room by myself, and pull out my Bible and spend time with the Lord. It's not a burden for me to do that. It's something that I rejoice in doing because I have been made free from the sins and the bondage of that sin. It makes me want to learn more about my Savior. Verse 19, I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmity of your flesh. For as ye have yielded your members servant to uncleanness and to do iniquity unto iniquity, look at what he says now. Even so now, yield your members servants to righteousness unto holiness. The end result of yielding yourselves to uncleanliness is iniquity, wickedness, sinfulness, deceit, all those things. But he finishes the verse and says, if we do the opposite and yield ourselves members to the Lord, righteousness, what's the end result of that? Holiness. I'm going to tell you this. A lot of people come to Christ just for the fact of going to heaven. Can I tell you that's good enough reason? I don't know about you, but I don't want to go to the devil's hell. I don't want to go to a place that burns with fire. I don't want to go to a place where the fire is never quenched. I don't want to go there where I'm ever separated from God. I don't have a plan to go there. Matter of fact, let me tell you this. I can't go there because I've been saved by the blood of Jesus Christ. I'm eternally secured in Him. Amen. Boy, that'd get you shouting right there. What I want you to see about this, though, the problem with people coming to Christ is that they want to hold on to this old man. They want to try to bring the old man into this new spiritual side of life. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Okay. 2 or 3 of you agree and are honest. We want to bring more of that old man and try to make him spiritual. He will never be spiritual. He will always be fleshly oriented. That's why he has to die. Then what I want to get to you now about this holiness part, the last part of that verse, he said the purpose of that is to bring on holiness. You know what that means? Being a Christian is more than just saying I'm a Christian and a member of a church down the street. Carrying my Bible and doing some type of Christianity things. Being a Christian is denying the flesh and living holy in front of this world. That means you've got to be different from the world, church. If what they're partaking in doesn't bring glory to God, you ought not to be doing it either. Yes, sir. Amen. What's he talking about in verse 19? Even so now yield your members servants to righteousness unto holiness. The end factor is that we're going to glorify God. Here we go, last thing. Some things I should be doing. Being thankful, being discipled, and destined to a heavenly eternity. Verses 22 and 23. Let's get the end of verse 21. For the end of those things is death. But now being made free from sin. Here, listen to what he says. And become servants to God. Ye have your fruit unto holiness. And the end is everlasting life. Well, I don't know about you, but I love that last 2 words. The end of all that is everlasting life. Paul concludes the writing by saying, for the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is part-time life. And we might make it someday. The wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. How do we obtain that? Through Jesus Christ, our Lord. My question to you is, are you walking in the newness of life? Or are you still living under the same old wretched man you used to be? You can leave here today walking in the newness of life. But let me rest assured your mind of this. That does not mean every care and sorrow that you're dealing with right now goes away. It just means you got help to get through those things. Amen? You've tried to do it all by yourself. You've been carrying that load all by yourself. But praise God, He's willing there to bear your burden. Amen. I'm asking you today, are you willing to leave here different than you came? You know, that's not only a statement and a question for the believers. It's not only a question and a statement for the lost people. It's a question for people. Are we willing to leave knowing things have been changed in our lives and walk in the newness of life? We'll go back to the first slide, Mr. Kristen. The entirety of Romans chapter 6, as he concludes verses 1 through 3, is that we walk in this newness of life. That's his opening statement. Verse number 4, he says, therefore. That means at the conclusion of verses 1 and 3, I am walking in the newness of life. Therefore, that's completed in your life. Everything else about that chapter should fall into line. It all starts with walking in the newness of life. My question to you is, are you? Are you? I want to ask you this. If you are not, will you please seek the Lord to do that today? Mike, will you come play on the piano for us? I don't know your needs today. And I know we say that week on and week out. And I know that we battle and struggle with things each and every day. I can tell you this. We should be walking more on the winning side than we are on the losing side. Yes, we're winners. We need to walk, act, and live like we are winners. So as Mike plays, I'll ask you to just stand. If you have a need in your life to walk in the newness of life. If you're not saved, you don't know Christ as your Savior, come today. If you are saved and things are just not right where they need to be, you're not doing what you need to be